So picture this. It's April 6th, 1990. The Scandinavian Star Ferry is setting off on what's supposed to be a totally routine overnight trip. But for the hundreds of people on board, this trip would turn into one of the absolute worst maritime disasters in Scandinavian history. We're going to break down just how a series of catastrophic failures led to an unimaginable tragedy at sea. That number, that's what this story is really about. 158 men, women, and children lost their lives. But what's truly shocking isn't just how many people died, it's how fast it all happened. 45 minutes. That's it. From the moment the first flame appeared to the point where there was no escape, the entire disaster unfolded in less than an hour. It just begs the question, how on earth could a modern ferry become a death trap so terrifyingly fast? To really get what went wrong, we have to go right back to the beginning. It's the start of the Easter holidays. The Scandinavian Star has just been renovated and it's sailing from Oslo, Norway, over to Denmark, just packed with families and people ready for a vacation. A survivor, Jan Hassam, he remembers the mood on board. He was there with his pregnant wife Christine and their young son, and they were all just looking forward to a holiday. And just like the other 383 passengers, there was this feeling of excitement. You know, the perfect start to a vacation, and the perfect setting for a tragedy nobody saw coming. But here's the thing. Even before the ship had left the dock, the red flags were already there. They left over 2 hours late, passengers could see the renovation work wasn't even finished, staff were disorganized, and, this is crucial, many of the crew couldn't speak the same language as each other, let alone the passengers. And these weren't just little inconveniences, they were serious cracks in the ship's foundation of safety. Okay, so now let's talk about the fire itself. Disasters like this are almost never just one single thing going wrong. They're a chain reaction, like dominoes falling, where one bad decision or one design flaw just cascades into the next. Let's see how that chain was built on the Scandinavian Star. At 2 o'clock in the morning, a fire is deliberately set in a pile of bedding down on an empty passenger deck. For 9 minutes, it just grows, creeping up a stairwell. It isn't until 2:15 a.m., a full 15 minutes after it started, that the captain on the bridge even gets his first warning. 15 minutes. An inferno was just growing completely undetected. And this is the central mystery that baffled investigators. I mean, a small fire in some bedding on a big steel ship, it should have just burned itself out. It needed fuel to grow into the monster it became. So what was the fuel? And the answer is just horrifying. It's this fatal contradiction. The ship's walls were made of fireproof asbestos. Sounds perfectly safe, right? Wrong. They were covered with this thin